So for today's practice, please begin in a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you today. You can sit cross-legged, which is what I've opted to do. I have a blanket under my sitting bones to help elevate my hips and kind of bring my pelvis into that slight anterior tilt. You can sit on your heels, whatever feels most comfortable for you. So our practice today is going to be focused on the two channels that pertain to the winter season, the kidney and the urinary bladder. And the channels have their own physical distribution across the surface of the body, but they also connect in the interior of the body to the organs themselves, right? So we have the kidney and urinary bladder channels traversing the surface and delving internally to connect with those organs themselves. Not only do these two channels and their corresponding organs oversee the season of winter, but they're also considered the root of life. So this is a nice place to be, a nice place to work energetically, not just during winter season, but anytime we're in a period of wintering in our lives, right? So a period of wintering is a period of kind of stepping away from the flow of life and needing to go inwards with ourselves, maybe to step away from the hustle and bustle for a period of reflection. And that can happen for numerous reasons. It can happen due to injury or illness, or in a period of grief, or as some of us are experiencing right now, right, with the pandemic, with climate change and weather patterns that can disrupt our lives. All of these periods of time can be considered winters, right, or a wintering season. So it's nice to work with kidney and bladder during those times because they are the root of life. They are concerned with feelings of safety, feelings of security, and feelings of groundedness. If you kind of transpose 5-element theory into the chakra system, this combo, bladder and kidney, are very closely related to Muladhara, right, the root chakra. So that's what we're working with today, are these two energy channels, these two pathways and their organs that help us root back into ourselves, that help us cultivate a sense of stability and security with ourselves and within ourselves. So like that, bring your hands down onto your thighs, and right off the bat, turn your hands down. You can close your eyes all the way if that feels comfortable for you, if that feels safe. If your nervous system would rather the eyes be open, do that instead, and just soften your gaze on something in your vicinity. And take a few breaths here, yogis, to settle into your seat. So you might shrug your shoulders a few times. You might take a big sigh. You might shift your weight from side to side. Whatever you need to do to help your body begin to come into stillness. And when you get there, take a moment and welcome yourself to your practice. Welcome yourself to this time that you have carved out to be present to your breath and to your body. And in this space of welcoming, gently start to tune your attention into the body. And for these next few breaths, just gently allow your mind to wander from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. Letting attention move from the right hemisphere to the left and back. Just drawing your attention in as you start to feel your way into the body. Noticing where the body feels open, where it feels spacious today. Noticing anywhere where the body feels light, receptive. And with just as much compassion, feel into the parts of the body that are a little bit closed off or resistant. Notice pockets of tension or tenderness. And see what you can do about softening the back of your jaw. And from this deep connection to your physical self, take the next few moments to gently shift your attention to your breath. Just feeling your attention land lightly on the breath as you start to notice whether one side of the breath is naturally a little bit longer and deeper than the other. Notice the natural rhythm of your breath today. Notice the texture, the temperature of your breath. And feel where the breath makes contact with the body. You might feel this as the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Maybe you feel the breath touching the body here in the nostrils, a feeling of coolness as you breathe in, that flow of warmth in the back of the throat and into the sinuses as you breathe out. And from this connection to the breath, take the next few moments to gently shift attention a little bit further in. And start to notice your inner landscape, that place where thoughts and emotions reside. Noticing the thoughts that are showing up for you here at the top of your practice. Noticing the words, the images, the emotions that might be here. Without expectation, right? Without needing to direct or control. Just letting yourself gently step back and notice, bearing witness to the vast universe of experiences that are shifting and moving within you. From this connection to your inner space, your inner landscape, take the next few breaths to now start to widen and deepen your attention so that you can feel into breath and body and inner landscape at the same time. Widening and deepening your attention to welcome a global awareness of your experience in this moment. And as you're ready, inhale to sweep your arms out and all the way overhead to the sky. Think about gathering up your breath. Deep exhale, thumbs to your heart. Bow your chin to your chest. And then gently release your hands, blink your eyes open, and level your gaze. Our first pose will be child's pose. So from your seat, shift back to sit on your heels with your big toes touching. And you can take your knees as wide apart as feels comfortable for your joints today. From there, grab your supports. I like one bolster between my inner knees with a folded blanket on top. That's enough support, enough lift that my weight can still sit down and back into my hips and heels, and the ground is sufficiently lifted up to meet me. So try a few different setups. If you're not sure what the body needs today, you can also do a block or 2 blocks under your cushion, under your bolster, right? Creating this little ramp. And that can feel nice and supportive too. So we'll take about 5 really slow, really deep breaths to come into our expression of child's pose. Give yourself permission to fidget. Give yourself permission to adjust. Maybe you take a blanket over your back body here for a little bit of extra warmth and grounding. And eventually, after a few breaths, you'll come into a version of child's pose that meets the needs of your body today. And when you get there, you are welcome to close your eyes all the way. Or you can soften your gaze on something around you. Kind of noticing your surroundings and letting your gaze fall somewhere steady. Oftentimes when the nervous system is activated, our field of awareness shrinks down into this tiny little dot of comprehension, right? And so finding something steady to settle our gaze on can be really soothing. As you notice your eyes come to rest on something around you, take the next few moments to notice that object. Notice its dimensions. Notice its weight. Notice the light falling on it. Its texture. And as you settle into this space, into this pose, into this moment, orienting yourself to your surroundings, when it feels right, gently welcome your attention back into your own body. And just like we did in that opening meditation a moment ago, take the next few breaths to settle your attention in the body and to feel what's present here. Notice sensations in the body. Is there a particular sensation that is calling out to you? Something that feels stronger or more present, more pressing? And stay with the experience in the body as you settle in for your final 5 breaths here. all breathe in our own breath pace. So when you feel complete in your fifth and final breath, turn the palms down to the ground and pause there just for a moment. Notice the texture of the earth beneath you. Notice any sense of anticipation bubble up inside. And can you soften your tailbone down? Soften the space between your shoulder blades. And ever so gently press yourself up. Take a breath or two to transition. You can place your props off to the side. And then from here, just step your knees and your thighs together. We're going to come into a short rabbit pose. So as you're ready, you'll bring the top of your head down onto the ground and your forehead pretty close to your knees. Reach back with your hands and hold on firmly to your heels. As you inhale, lift your hips, round your upper back, and pull against your feet. Pull against your hands on your feet to widen the shoulder blades and to feel that stretch across your upper back. 5 breaths here. Keep the top of your head light on the ground. So can you push down into the tops of your feet a little bit more and pull against your heels? Final few breaths. See if you can puff up your back body. Breathe into the back ribs. Final inhale. Exhale, settle back. Take another moment here. And then as you're ready, gently turn your gaze forward to the top of your mat. Palms to the earth. Slide yourself forward into a Sphinx pose. So there's a lot of different ways to do Sphinx. I'm going to demo a couple of my favorite variations. So one of my favorites is to use the support of the bolster under your rib cage, right? So you still get that lift, you still get the chest opening and the back bend. It's a little less effortful. And then another option here is to, where are my blocks? Take one of your blocks on the tallest height and place it under your forehead. You can use both of those props. You can use neither of those props, right? So a couple more breaths to find your way into the Sphinx pose that works best for you today. See what you can do about softening your jaw. And if you're not using the block under your forehead, you can still keep your gaze down between your thumbs. Or you can look straight ahead. You can even start to lift your chin and stretch open through the front of your throat. As you land in this shape, again, orienting yourself to your surroundings. Noticing what's in the space around you, objects, furnishings. Let's take a breath or two to notice where you are. Noticing the colors and the shapes in the space around you. And then as you're ready, inviting your attention back into your body, into the experience that this physical being is having right now. Rather than trying to control or direct the flow of your attention here, can you just let the mind gently roam all over the body to whatever calls out to it? Maybe it's a tingling sensation in your toe, or you have an itch on your nose. Just as sensations surface, noticing them, and then moving on. Just feeling your way into a relationship with the body. And then gently, as you're ready, turning your attention now to the space of your middle and lower back. So kind of the bottom of your sports bra, if you're wearing a sports bra, like the lower thoracic spine all the way down to your sacrum and tailbone. And spend the next few minutes gently inviting your attention into this part of your body, and stay there as you feel sensation ebb and flow. Notice the quality of the sensation here. Is it dull? Is it active? Is it grounding or perhaps energizing? Does it feel open or closed? Is there a sensation of breath moving into this part of your body? And know that there's no right or wrong answer here. We're just on this gentle journey of self-discovery. Take 5 more breaths here. Attention in the lower and mid back. Feeling what's present. We all breathe in our own breath pace. So when you feel complete in your 5th and final breath, we'll transition to lying flat on our tummies. So that might involve just taking your elbows out to the sides and bringing your forehead down. Or it might involve sliding some props out of the way. So take the next couple of breaths to gently shift your way down. Your hands can stack, your forehead can come down. And settle in for just a couple of breaths here. Notice what you feel as you come out of the pose, right? As we move out of the back bend into a more neutral spine position. Noticing what you feel from the surface of your skin in. Maybe feeling across the sacrum from left to right and back again. And for these next 2 breaths, as you inhale, see if you can feel the sacrum float up to the sky. As if your lungs were down in your lower back, and each time you breathed in, that part of your body would expand. From here, we'll take it into half frog pose on the right. Slide your right knee out to the right on the ground. If you're practicing on carpet like I am, you might be good to go to just slide the knee out. If you're on tile or hardwood, it might be nice to pad under your knee and leg with a blanket. So slide the right knee up and out. The knee might be as high as your hip bone, but probably no higher for most of us. You can keep that right knee at a 90-degree angle, or you can slide your foot back towards the left leg, kind of like tree pose almost. Notice if the right side of your hip, the right side of your booty is sticking up in the sky. And perhaps just slide that leg out a little bit more. You don't have to go far to find a whole new world of sensation. Remember that in the Yin practice, we're not seeking the deepest, most intense sensation that our bodies are capable of, right? And if we go too far, too fast, we can actually sort of stimulate that protective response in the nervous system where we sort of seize up or shut down. So being really gentle with ourselves as we come into the pose, and then as you arrive, just feel the body settle. Notice the movement of breath here. And we're just here for 1 minute. Final few moments here, yogis. Final few breaths. And then very slowly slide your right leg back along the earth until you feel it extend back behind you, next to the left leg. And keep your forehead on your stacked palms here. Take a nice big deep breath and feel the entire back of your torso float up to the sky as you breathe in. Open your mouth and let it go. Wiggle your hips from side to side, wiggle your bum. And then just for a moment, bring your attention into the kidney band, that space below your floating ribs in the back of your body and above your sacrum. Feel into the right side of the kidney band, the left side of the kidney band. Shift your attention back and forth into this space in your body, and then gently bring attention down into the sacrum. Shifting attention down into the tailbone. Noticing sensations here, and then gently moving attention forward into the inner hips and inner groin. Sensing everything that's present here, sensation, texture, and then bring attention down from the inner groin towards the inner knee. Just feeling sensation across your inner legs. And then weave your attention all the way back up from the inner knees through the inner groin to the lower back. And as you're ready, move into your half frog on the second side. So this time the left leg is going to slide out. And take a little bit of time to figure out the pose, right? So how high does your knee want to be? Does your foot want to be in line with the knee, or do you want to kind of slide it back almost to like a tree pose, Vrikshasana variation? Maybe you slide the whole leg out to the left a little bit more to descend the left hip bone to the ground. You can keep your hands stacked with your forehead down, or you can bring your right cheek down, kind of cactus your arms onto the mat. Take your time. Settling in for 1 minute here on this side. See what you can do about softening your jaw and remaining present to the ebb and flow of sensation in the body, the ebb and flow of breath. Just noting how all aspects of your experience move through their own natural life cycle, right? Your breath comes and goes, your thoughts come and go, and sensation comes and goes. Settle in for your final few breaths. And just like you did on the first side, let your left leg start to slide on the ground until you feel it straighten out next to your right leg. You can bring your forehead down onto your stacked hands, and once again, give yourself the gift of a really nice, big, deep breath. Breathe in, feel the whole back of your body inflate and expand. Open the mouth, let it go. Feel the body settle back into the ground. And just notice. Notice what you feel. Now, rather than think your way, can you sense your way? Sensing your way now back into the kidney band, below your floating ribs in the back body, and above your sacrum. And shifting attention from the left to the right and back. Melting attention down into the space of your sacrum. Perhaps feeling it move with breath. Perhaps noticing sensation. Attention shifting down into the tailbone and into the front of the body. So the inner groin and the inner thighs. Kind of the space where we just connected with that half frog. And from the inner thighs and inner groin, flow with the tension down to your inner knees. Just feeling any sensation that might be here. Fine-tuning your awareness as you gently Reverse that journey from your inner knees, flowing with sensation and attention all the way back up to the space of your kidney band. And just notice what it feels like to be here and to breathe here. The way your inhales gently float you up off the ground. The way your exhales settle you back down onto the earth. And as you're ready, nice and slowly, as if you were moving through water, roll onto your backs. Take your time, imagining the body were weightless, kind of floating. When you do land on your back, take your legs wide on the earth and your arms wide overhead for star pose. We were on our bellies for quite some time, so now notice what it feels like to be open to the sky. Take a deep breath in to fill the entire front of your torso. And in your own time, open your mouth and let it out. Notice all the points of contact between your body and the ground beneath you. We've shifted our orientation to the room, to the space around us. So just take a moment to feel the parts of you that are in contact with something, the mat or the ground, a prop perhaps. As you settle into this new relationship with your surroundings, bend your knees and place the feet on the ground, please. We'll take either a bolster or a folded blanket and wedge that between the thighs, knees, and inner ankles. And so this is really yogi's preference. If you have a super thick, chunky cushion or bolster, you might want to do a blanket that's been folded like a hot dog, right, the long way. If you're not sure, you can try both. Opening your arms like a cactus or maybe a capital T. Take an inhale here. Then as you exhale, scoot the hips to the right, just about an inch or so as the knees come down to the left. Supported spinal twist. Take all the time you need to come into this shape. You might need to adjust the positioning of the bolster, squeezing it in towards the knees a little bit more or closer to the groin. Ever so gently, press into the back of your head to lift your shoulders and chest, and then walk your shoulders away from your pelvis, as if your shoulders were little feet. Walk them away from the lower back and pelvis, and then bring them down, finding some more space along your spine. Now, once you've settled into the twist that feels most supportive and easeful for you, you're welcome to close your eyes all the way, or again to settle your gaze somewhere. Notice the gentle movement of your mind, how attention ebbs and flows. And see what you can do about welcoming yourself back into the breath, back into the body for our final minute here. Soften at the back of your jaw. Soften across your low belly. Settle in for your final few moments here, final few breaths. Gradually, and with a great sense of ease and unhurriedness, bring yourself back to neutral. Shifting your hips back to center as you're ready, planting the feet on the ground and taking a breath between sides. It might even be nice to bring your hands onto your belly. And take a moment here to notice what you feel. Again, without a sense of expectation, just inviting that global awareness. And as you're ready, we'll move into the second side. If you need a little bit longer here at center with yourself, please take it. Shifting the hips over to the left this time and letting your breath out carry the knees down to the right. 5 or so breaths to settle. Adjusting how much you bend your knees, how much you flex at the hips. Adjusting the position of your bolster. And then again, gently lifting the chest, the shoulders, and lengthening your spine on the ground. Like you're doing a little reverse caterpillar. Take your time to arrive. Checking in with the body to notice if there's some area of discomfort, some part of you that still feels unsupported, and asking what you could do to provide the body the support it needs and deserves. Notice the gentle movement of your mind and see if you can welcome yourself back. Just feeling your way back into the body, back into the breath, as you enjoy your final few moments here. As you complete your next breath, gently shift your way back to center and take all the time you need to get there, yogis. Shifting your hips, planting your feet, maybe hands to the belly as you take a breath. And then as you're ready, move your bolster off to the side and roll over into a fetal position. Take a breath there. Slowly press yourself upright. Our final pose before Shavasana will be butterfly. If you're still transitioning upright, no worries, take your time. You can just sort of listen along. I like to sit on a blanket for forward folds. It makes my lower back happy. And ain't no one happy till the lower back is happy, so might as well give it the support at once. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. For the yin version of this shape, the heels are not super close, right? They're not all the way up to the groin. So you can take a nice big diamond shape with your legs. And then perhaps blocks under your outer knees. This is a nice option for anyone who has tight hips and has a hard time forward folding. And it also just anchors the pelvis down and back, which feels really nice. Before we forward fold, we're going to take our thumbs and give ourselves a little massage. So find the space between your first toe and your second toe, right? And slide down until you're a third of the way down your foot. Your finger will fall into like a little well, a little divot there, right? So it's between the first and second metatarsals, the first and second bones of your foot. And you can just place your thumb there on both of your feet, left and right. Now you can simply apply the pressure straight in. It doesn't have to be super forceful, right? You're not trying to dig a hole. You're just applying a little bit of pressure. Gentle. So you can just apply the pressure straight in, or you can draw little circles. This is your kidney 1 acupuncture point. It's the first point on the kidney channel, the only point on the sole of the foot, and the most grounding point of all the 360 plus acupuncture points. And give yourself a little massage here for the next moment. And then when you're ready, and if the massage is feeling nice, you can keep going. But when you're ready, we'll set ourselves up for the forward fold. So you can use your bolster here. You can use your blocks if you'd like. Right? Lots of different ways to set yourself up. Providing support for your forehead, maybe for your torso as well. And this will be our longest hold today, aside from Shavasana. So do give yourself time to come into the pose and to get really comfy. And from here, just gently place your palms on the ground. Notice the texture of the earth, and the sensation of the ground beneath you. And in your own time, with the next breath or so, transition all the way upright. There's no rush to get there. You can slide your props off to the side for a moment and then lean back into your hands. Take your legs out in front of you and take a breath. Yeah. Let's set up for Shavasana. So you can take any Shavasana your heart desires. One of my favorites is 2 blocks on the flattest height next to each other. And that goes along the bottom of your mat, right? And then take your bolster in front of them at an angle on the long side. So that when you lean back and come to rest, the backs of your legs are supported. You can take your blanket onto your belly if you'd like. If there's another version of final rest that feels more restful, more comfortable, please feel free to take it. If you'd like to stay in your rest a little bit longer, you're welcome to do so. If you're ready to move on with your day from here, begin to invite a little bit of attention, a little bit of awareness back into the body and into the breath. Sensing once again all the contact points between your body and the earth. Sensing once again the movement of breath. And perhaps blinking your eyes a few times, gently orienting yourself to the space around you. You can wiggle your fingertips and your toes, maybe turn your head from side to side. And then as you're ready, help yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bring your palms together at the center of your heart. Bow your chin towards your chest. We'll close our practice with a shared moment of silent gratitude. Thank you, friends. Namaste.